Good day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan battle video, and we are going to talk in today's video about Extreme Z Awakenings and Dokkan Awakenings. Now, Extreme Z Awakening is a very cool mechanic. It essentially increases a Dokkan Awakened unit's level to 140 and revamps their passive and super attack skills, etc. to make them quite usable. Dokkan Awakenings are awakenings that are given to units that also alter their passives and super attacks. Now, when a unit has some gap between their Dokkan Awakening and their EZA, they can exist in two different metas because of how power creep works with a unit. When a unit undergoes an Awakening and then an EZA, they are kind of stuck in that period of time, and we're going to use an example to talk about this. So as you can see here, a lot of Dragon Ball Fusions units got their Awakenings with this event revamp. Now, Pandel was a unit who had her Awakening previously, back in 2016 and 2017. Kulieza, on the other hand, is another Dragon Ball unit. He received his Awakening this year, the exact same time as his EZA. Now, bear in mind, both these units came out at the same time. So Kulieza with his Awakening has attack and defense of 100% when performing a super attack, medium chance of launching an additional super attack, and an increased crit chance of 10% with each attack performed. He also raises attack and defense permanently. That's a pretty good passive, and one that's honestly more than fine by the current meta standards, especially for a non-DFE unit, a sub-banner unit, an older unit. That's more than fine. If we look at Pandel's Awakening that she occurred in 2016, you can see hers was 30% attack for all allies. Now, obviously, hers is much worse. That's because the meta at the time was obviously in a different state. And so Pandel at the time got this passive so that she could function in that meta. And I remember people running her on fusion teams as one of the only attack-based supports. Along with her lowering of attack and defense, she was still a pretty usable unit at the time for the meta at that time, which was probably just fusion SBR, where it was like the most you could use them. Take a look at Bulpan and you see a similar thing. Bulpan herself only gave allies ki above a certain health threshold. Both of them received their Extreme Z Awakenings this year. Not only were they able to be used in the meta at the time that they received their Dokkan Awakening, although not favorable units, they were able to be utilized. With their EZAs, they are now entirely relevant once again. So they've existed within two separate instances of the meta. They have existed at the time where their Dokkan Awakening made them power relevant, and they've existed at the time where their EZA makes them power relevant. Why is this an issue then when units receive double Awakenings? So look at Pandel. She had 4 years in between. Her existence within two metas means that her as a unit has increased longevity. She's able to function within separate instances of teams and has kind of made a comeback. That's the greatest thing about the EZA mechanic. It allows them to make quite a big comeback. They're able to essentially re-enter the meta. A unit that you may have found or used years ago is now able to be reused, and that's what makes it so great. It's a way to lessen the power creep curve that occurs in a lot of gacha games, and that's why EZAs are so cool. When EZAs are used as a supplementary function, a function that's essentially just designed to immediately occur when a unit is awakened, not only is their power creep lessened, but their longevity within the game is completely lessened as well and reduced quite dramatically, because now they are awakened or EZA'd to a point that is within the current meta, the same meta that they received their Dokkan Awakening in. If you look at Kulieza's EZA, he only gains 20% attack and defense, a high chance of launching an additional attack, and he becomes a pseudo Wicked Bloodlines and fusion category support. That's it. It's a nice Awakening, but it's not necessarily the greatest. Barring the stats, it's actually not that big an increase from his Dokkan Awakening. Whereas if you look at Pandel, as we saw earlier, went from 30% support to being a 30% all-type attack and defense support, 150 attack and defense of her own, and also has a chance of evading enemy super attacks per fusion category character on the team. And so Pandel was able to exist within two metas, whereas Kulieza is just kind of buffed slightly within the current meta. So why couldn't they just make Dbz's Dokkan Awakening his EZA? Less the stats, it wouldn't be as dramatic, but it would still be something quite powerful, and then later on you still have the option to EZA him to bring him back in a new meta. You can see this a lot with free-to-play units. A unit like Captain Ginyu, whose passive was very niche, had been used. I used him before his EZA in the Extreme Int ESBR, and I succeeded in beating that stage because of his passive back then. His EZA made him entirely more relevant once more, and you're able to take him into even further ESBR. Compare that to, say, something like Tekka or Pinnage or Yamhan, who receive their EZAs right now. They're not able to progress any further. They are again stuck in this moment of the meta. Look at AGL Whis, who finally received his Dokkan Awakening. His Dokkan Awakening makes him highly usable. He still has the ability to EZA, which means his usability could extend even further into the game. He could exist within 2 metas. A very, very good free-to-play unit like the Goku and Gohan, they're stuck in a period in time and will slowly continue to fall back as their EZA is stuck and they have no more further awakening options. But I just thought it'd be interesting to discuss it, so let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And as always guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Bye!